Time to review for your test. Okay, so first one is probably the simplest one you got there. Denominators already match. Always got to check for that. So to add these, we're just going to combine any like terms on the top. Well, 7x and 4x combine to make 11x. And negative 2 plus negative 1 is negative 3. The denominator does not change. There are no like terms among anything here on top or anything here on bottom, so it's done. That's the answer. Now number 2, the denominators are not the same, so we're going to make them the same by multiplying whatever necessary to get the least common denominator. Well, the least common denominator is going to be 12. 3 and 4 both go into 12. That's the smallest one you can do. So I'm going to multiply the first fraction top and bottom times 4, because that's how I would get a 12 on the bottom. And I'm going to multiply the second fraction top and bottom times 3, because that's what I would need to make that bottom 12. So working that out, 4 times 5x is 20x. On the bottom, 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times x is 3x, and 4 times 3 is 12. Bottoms do match, so now I can combine any like terms. 20x minus 3x are like terms and makes 17x. And then the fraction 17x over 12 cannot be simplified, so that's done. Question 3. Same kind of deal, but now we have x's in our denominator. The least common denominator there is going to be x squared, because x can go into x squared. To make that happen, we'd have to multiply it top and bottom times x. So times x times x. And notice I only have to multiply this fraction times something, because if I multiply and I get x squared on this side, well, then both my denominators match, and I'm done as far as that's concerned. I can just add them. So this first one stays 6 over x squared, because we didn't have to multiply it. But this becomes 5x over x squared. And then 6 plus 5x, well, in standard form, the 5x would go first, plus the 6 over x squared. And that's it for that one, because there's nothing, again, there's no simplifying to do on that one there. On this next one, it looks like I can make, the second fraction become a 12. The denominator, I can make that become a 12 by multiplying the top and bottom times 2. Then that way the denominators will match, and we can do this. So I'm going to have to distribute on the top. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 9 is 18. So you got to remember to distribute. 2 times 6 in the bottom is 12. And now my numerators and denominators match. I'm sorry, my denominators match. Being goofy. Alright, so I can just combine like terms here. 2x minus x is just a single x. And then negative 18 plus, or actually negative 18 minus 2 is negative 16, negative 20 actually, just kidding. And that's as simplified as that can get. So next one, oh, oops, you know what? I just realized, my bad. I copied number 4 down wrong. That's supposed to be a plus sign. Just kidding. So that's what was written on the board. I just realized that. So we'll back that up a second here. Actually, that just means then that 2x plus x is 3x, and let's see again. Negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16. Sorry, so that was the correct answer for number 4, what was on the board there. And once again, still though, nothing can be, no like terms can be pulled out or simplified, so that's as good as that answer gets. Next one, we're just simplifying, so factor first. Factor, factor, factor. I cannot help you with factoring. You have to know how to do the factoring yourself. I can see both of these on the top are divisible by 4. I can see both of these have as high as an x squared in common, so that's my GCF. I factor it out. Start a new parentheses, and what do I get if you pull out 4x squared? Well, the 4's would cancel, and x cubed divided by x squared is x, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. X squared would cancel, so that's the top. On bottom, they're both divisible by a 3. They both have as high as an x. You divide out 3x from these things, you would just get x minus 4. Now I can cancel some stuff. The x minus 4 on top and bottom cancel. The 3 and the 4 I can't change, so 4 over 3 is definitely part of my answer. But then I have an x squared on top and I have an x on bottom. Well, this x counts for 2 of them, and this is just one of them. I can cancel out one x from top and bottom, leaving me still with an x on top, so 4x over 3 is that answer. Number 6, same kind of thing. Now we just need to factor first, and we have just a little bit more stuff to cancel. First one is the M&A method, because it's 3 terms. Multiplies to negative 15 would be 5 and 3. To add to negative 2, the 5 would have to be negative. So x minus 5 and x plus 3. On bottom I still have the x plus 3. And then the x minus 3, and then now this bottom one here, x squared minus 9, is difference of squares, which factors into x plus 3, x minus 3. And now I can go through and I can start canceling some things. And as we see here, I've got an x plus 3, I've got an x plus 3. I've got an x minus 3, I've got an x minus 3. So then the only things that remain on top would be the x minus 5, and on bottom, the x plus 3. So that's my answer for that one. Whoops. Did I copy that one down now? Oh yeah, that's supposed to be a division sign right there in between them. Let me fix that real fast. Okay, so yeah, this is division. Okay, so x squared minus 5x plus 6 can be factored into, let's see, multiplies to 6, that would be 3 and 2. To make it add to negative 5, both the 3 and the 2 would have to be negative, so x minus 3, x minus 2, and there's the x minus 3 on bottom. Now because this starts as a division problem, division switches into multiplication, and then I flip the second fraction. So then now what was on top is going to go on bottom, but let's factor it. X squared minus 4 is a difference of squares, so that becomes x plus 2, x minus 2. Since it was on the top here, when I flip it, it's on the bottom. X plus 2, x minus 2 on the bottom. And then there's the x plus 2, which flips up to the top here. Now we can cancel some things. For example, the x minus 3's can cancel. This x minus 2 and this x minus 2 can cancel. Oh, and look at this. X plus 2 can cancel. Well, absolutely everything on top canceled means I would be left with a 1 on top. Absolutely everything on bottom cancels means I'd be left with a 1 on bottom, which means that the answer is simply just 1. How silly is that? Okay, synthetic division. So first thing on synthetic division is whatever you're dividing by, this x plus 5, I put that number with the opposite sign in my corner box, so that's a negative 5 in the corner box. Then do set up the rest of this. I'm going to take the coefficients and I'm going to put them up across the top. So 1 x to the 4th, 6 x cubed, 6 x squared, but I'm missing regular x, I'm missing the constant. I have to put 0 placeholders for both of those. Remember to put your 0 placeholders when it's missing. So this is actually 16600 across the top, and now that it's set up correctly, we can do our method here. Drop down the 1. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Combine is 1. Multiply again is negative 5. Combine again is 1. And multiply again is negative 5. But this time you combine that, you get negative 5. Okay, negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. Combine that, you get 25. Okay. Now I just need to take 1, 1, 1, negative 5, 25, and I need to write that as an actual answer because I'm not counting this as an answer. I want it written out with x's. So if my problem started as x to the fourth, then my answer is going to start as x cubed. So this is going to be 1 x cubed. Okay, because it's just going to be one less exponent. So then the next thing is going to be 1 x squared, and then plus 1x. Then the minus 5 is the constant, and then the 25 is the remainder. So I put the 25 on top of the x plus 5. And that's the answer. Do not forget to go from this type of answer to the actual answer with all the x's. That's what I'm going to be looking for. And then of course also don't forget to change, this is x plus 5, put it as a negative 5, and don't forget to put zeros if you have missing terms, because that is going to be on the test. Another synthetic, so pretty similar process here. In the corner box is a negative 3. Across the top will be 3, 9, and 1. There's no missing terms, so that's fine. Drop down the 3, multiplies negative 9. Combine that is 0, multiply is 0. Combine that is 1. And now I take this and write this as my answer. So if I started as 3x squared, then this first thing is going to be not squared but one lower, so just 3x. The 0 here means I skip the next thing, which is the constant, so there is no constant. I just go straight to the remainder now. The remainder is on top of my divisor, x plus 3. So just 3x plus 1 over x plus 3 is the answer there. And then finally, factor by grouping. So we need to look at this, let's kind of split this problem in half. And on the left-hand side, figure out the greatest common factor, which would be 4x. So I factor out a 4x. If I factor that out, then 8x squared divided by 4x is 2x. And then 4x, when you factor out the 4x from that, you just get a 1. It'd be minus 1. Keep the same sign here as the one here in the middle, and think, what's my greatest common factor? It is 5. Both of those are divisible by 5. Divide 5 out of 10x, you get 2x. Divide 5 out of negative 5, and you get, negative 1. Okay, oh look, my parentheses match. 2x minus 1, 2x minus 1. So then 2x minus 1 is part of my answer, and then the 4x plus 5 is the other part of my answer, and that's it. That's done. There's no more factoring that can be done. So there you go. Make sure you study any problems that you need to, because you just didn't understand them. See you tomorrow. Good luck.